Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally doesn't work. And I know I'm told that I do 1,000 videos a day, and I'm kind of falling behind, but I've been doing some actually incredible work. I'm actually here with Ainsley Battles, former Jacksonville Jaguar, Pittsburgh Steeler running back and safety.
Safety.
One on the team too, wasn't it?
Safety. I had a cup of coffee in Buffalo.
Okay, Buffalo. That's it, Buffalo.
Pittsburgh Steelers, Jacksonville Jaguars, representing Vanderbilt University, anchored down.
Well, the great news is what happens in Vegas doesn't always stay in Vegas.
Well, we're not in Vegas.
So he's actually back from Vegas and stuff. So now I know when the Raiders go to Vegas and the Cowboys play there, I got a place I can crash.
Always.
Okay. But Ainsley is actually going to be able to give us a perspective on life in football. And I always tell you guys, you always forget that football players are actually human. And he had told us a story last year when I met him about the guy who didn't know he was cut.
Yeah, so what most people don't realize is on Tuesday, unless you're hurt, that's your day off. And so during your day off, what happens is they'll work out a lot of people because the team is always trying to upgrade. They always want the best person for the position, usually at the best price. So I remember when I was in in Jacksonville, 53-man roster. That year, I played with 26 new guys in one season. So there was one time where we were in the locker room on a Wednesday. Guy comes in. We don't ever look at our the heading in our locker because you're used to it, right?
Yeah.
So a guy comes in, sits down. Guy comes in, somebody's sitting in his locker, and he's kind of like, wait a second, man. I mean, what are you doing in this locker? The guy looks up at him and says, huh? And then the player looks up at the locker, realizes they've already slid his name off. They put somebody else's name in. They just forgot to tell him he'd already been released.
Well, for somebody like me or a lot of people out there, they think of being in the NFL as a dream. Is it all that we think it is?
Is it? Well,
uh-oh.
I don't know what you think it is, but when you think of something, so the most players in the NFL, it's been a dream of theirs for at least a decade. And so you think about what it takes, the sacrifice it takes, the dedication it takes, all the things you gave up in hopes of accomplishing your dream. And then once you get there, you don't know how long you're going to stay there.
Yeah, and you know, I'm going to relate this because he had just said something to me that really, I have actually said many times. Because, you know, the whole thing of should they pay Dak? Well, Dak should wait another year to get paid and things like that. And what is the thing I always tell you guys? Every player is one play away from their career being over with. And you were telling me about your last play.
Oh, definitely. September 4th, 2012. September 12th, 2004. Fourth quarter, first game of the season. It's Ben Roethlisberger's rookie year. Play like any other play. Played against the Raiders. Receiver ran a dig route or a deep end. Made a tackle. Linebacker hit both of us. Guy was on my shoulder. We pivoted on my leg. Hit the ground. Hamstring. Tore from my pelvis. When they took the MRI, it was in the middle of my left thigh. Been playing football since I was 9, and literally in the blink of an eye, done. Did I know when I woke up that morning that would be my last day ever playing football? No. I went out and did what I always did, prepared, gave it my all. That was my day.
Now, so another thing you told me is, or we were just discussing is, you know, when they pay you, what happens, of course, before they pay you? They want to know everything about you, right?
Oh, most definitely. Yeah, you're an investment. You're an investment, but unlike buying a car where you're in charge of, once you acquire the car's with you the whole time, you're investing in younger adults that are getting a substantial amount of money in a short amount of time and work, theoretically, 6 months a year. So what kind of investment, how confident can you be in an investment when there are so many things you're not in control of? There's so many things you can't control in that person. So it's a gamble. It's literally a gamble because you're paying today prices for tomorrow's performance. So how do you actually put a price tag on it when everybody's getting older?
True on that one. Wow. And tell me, what was your your most memorable hit? Do you remember?
Most memorable hit
or tackle?
Most memorable hit or tackle,
And who it was on?
Jacksonville Jaguars playing, I want to say it was the Buffalo Bills, and I believe the running back was Travis Henry.
Remember
Travis Henry used to play for the University of Tennessee. I played at Vanderbilt University. We are rivals. And so whenever you see a rival on a different team, there is a little bit of, how do you put this?
Rivalry.
There is a rivalry. I think that's probably the best way to put it.
Yeah.
There's a rivalry. And so that's one of the only times I've ever made a tackle. It was like 2 rams on the top of a mountain, just pow. Got up, looked around, didn't know where I was. I didn't know which sideline
Blue
was
dot hit.
what. I mean, it comes back to you,
Yeah.
but it's one of those things where it's like you can either duck or go straight into it. Went straight into it. And the reason why it's probably my most memorable hit, it is because nobody won, nobody lost.
It was
It was a hit. It was football.
Damn.
And what you learn the more you play football is you don't have to like me or hate me, but I want you to respect me.
Amen to that. So now you're working with United Way.
That's right.
And we got our buddy over here, Mario Davis. We actually had Josh Norman earlier and stuff. And I know Cowboy fans, you're going to say that I'm a bandwagon fan. I'm not really a Cowboy fan. But you know what? Here's the thing. You can be a fan of somebody like these guys because they are doing things to make lives better for other people and stuff. So Demario Davis over there, he does a hell of a lot to make everybody's life better. So it's beyond just on the football field. And you're doing a lot of different things besides United Way. Can we talk about your project, or is that still?
Right now we got a little under wraps. We have some wheels in motion. But in a nutshell, one of the things I am working on is, because of the way my career ended, it's when you go to transition from playing to your life after sports. A lot of times athletes think you got to start over, and that's a misnomer. It's just not true. It's professional athletes are kind of like caterpillars, because when you're young, football is one of the things that just keep you young. But once it's over, you're forced to grow up. But all of us have to go through this time of really reinventing ourselves. And it's kind of that cocoon. And so, it's all caterpillars, when they get in that cocoon, they turn to the butterfly.
Right.
And so what I've done is invented a word, jockeypation. And literally what jockeypation means, it's the match of an athlete's knowledge, education, and experience to a comparative career field. Meaning, if I was a jock first, and being an athlete taught me certain skills that only playing will teach you. You don't learn to ride a book. You don't learn to ride a bike reading a book. You learn to ride a bike by getting on the bike and falling off of it till you get it. And so there's certain skills that football or sports really teaches athletes. And so what I'm doing with the word jockeypation is simply saying to that athlete, once that career is over, regardless if it was high school, college, professional, Olympics, you have a set of skills that you can transition into your life after sports that gives you a competitive advantage against everybody else because of what you had to do under the circumstances to get you to where you wanted to go. Because the thing that makes this unique is we've done something most people never have done, and that's live your dream. A lot of times when you grow up, people always tell you to have a dream that's outside of the scope of being able to get it. Therefore, your whole life is chasing it. So what happens when you get it?
When you get it, what do you do next?
That's a conversation most people don't have. Because most of the dreams we have are so large, you assume I can't get that. So what jockeypation is simply saying to you is, once you've gotten that, go higher, go further, because your story of being able to accomplish your dream, you're not only an example for somebody else, you're an inspiration to somebody else. We all don't need to be football players. We don't all need to be basketball players. We all need to be in our communities, and we all need to be positively affecting those the most vulnerable in our communities. We with our platform that we have an obligation and a duty and an obligation to do that. Too much is given, much is expected. And that's why working at United Way is fantastic, but also working in the space of jockeypation is equally fantastic, equally meaningful. Because a long time ago in Europe, they were called Renaissance people. These were Renaissance men. The guy could sculpt, the guy could paint, the guy could write, the guy could do a lot of things. And that's the beauty of football players or athletes today is we're 21st century Renaissance people. Because Because
you got to ask me something. Okay, I'm sorry.
Because we're so much more than the jersey we wear. Because we were people before somebody decided to give us a jersey, and we'll be better people once the jersey gets hung up in the rafters.
Right.
So this is a little blip in our life, in our journey. I think it just gives more more credence, just more moxie. It was something that gets people to lean in to listen to your story. Because once we can pull these curtains back and you see the mechanics of how things work,
Right.
I don't want to demystify being a professional athlete, but I do want to make it relatable to say the same effort it takes to play football is the same effort it takes to be a doctor and a lawyer. And if that
Amen.
kid who will stay up all night playing Madden will stay up all night reading the econ book, he's well on his way
Amen.
to living the dream he wants to live. It's just how do we connect the dots? And that's all we're trying to do.
All right. So Ainsley, I appreciate that.
Always,
Look,
my friend.
look. I'm telling you, this guy right here is a rising star. You're going to see a whole lot of stuff from Ainsley, and I'm going to say I got it before he really blew up. Okay.
You'll get me after that too, man. As long as you keep cooking this catfish.
Yeah, okay.
Listen, when he opens the restaurant,
Okay.
you better get there fast because it's gonna run out of food. I predict
Okay.
it right now. You can set your clock by it.
All right. On that note, I'll see you guys soon.
Definitely.